Alright, let's learn the beginner one exercises. So this first one are the hip thrusts. Basically, you want to be on your back, feet far enough for when you go up that your body makes a nice straight line. So if you look at the right video, you'll see when I go up, it's a nice straight line. Make sure that your back is flat, meaning that you cannot get your hand underneath your back at all. If you can, you have to rotate your hips down so that your back is flat. After that, embrace your core, lift your toes, and then push up through your heels. It's important to push through your heels because it activates the muscles in your butt. Focus on the muscle group while you're doing these exercises. This next one is the hardest one you'll do, and it's called clamshells. So you'll lay on your side, making sure that your top hip is stacked directly over your bottom hip. If you look at the left video, you'll see that I'm mostly stacked over it, but I'm also leaning back a little bit. So make sure that your hips are stacked directly on top. You'll also see that I have my left hand on my back pocket, if I had one. That's to help do the mind-muscle connection and make sure that that muscle group is working. So you'll hinge only from that point and try not to move the rest of your body. And that muscle is the most important for keeping your hips stable while you run. It's called the glute medius. You'll notice when it's weak because some people's hips drop while they run. So this is to help strengthen that muscle. And the next 4 exercises help with that too. All the way up. And go a little bit slower than I was going. I was going too fast in these videos. These are reverse clamshells. So same thing, hips stacked. You move your ankle away from your other ankle. If you notice on the left, my hip has a tendency to move forward. Try to stay as stationary as possible. And I'm going to emphasize once again the slow down. You will feel this in your hip, more so the front than the back. That's where my hand is to help focus the muscle group activating. This one is called hanging reverse clamshells. Same concept as the reverse clamshells, except you raise your hip in the air. Now you are hinging, meaning that you're twisting where your knee is. So try to keep your knee in the same spot and move that foot upwards. By now you probably will be feeling a lot of discomfort. They don't look like they'll hurt that much, but they do. They do a lot. Now this one is the side leg raise, feet pointed down. You want to keep your foot down, hips stacked like before. Your bottom leg can either be straight or facing out. If you find a cat along the way, you can cuddle it for a second or two, but then remember to get back to work. And you want to drive through your heel again. So the motion should be moved primarily through your heel so that you feel it on the side of your butt. Then do 5 slowly. Nudge the cat out of the way if you have to. And go straight up and down. If you are not feeling it like this, with your hips still stacked, move your top leg slightly behind the bottom leg. That will help engage the glutes a little bit more than before. Once again, you can always activate it by putting your hand on the muscle that you're working. If your cat decides to eat your yoga mat, I don't really know what to tell you. Just figure it out, I guess. Hopefully it's non-toxic. But yeah, the third one, you point your toe up and you continue to go slowly. These are probably the second hardest, but you will feel it the most. For these, you want to make sure that you are nice and squared. So if you missed what I did before, go back. I made sure that my knees were in line with each other and that my hands were in line with my knees. These are called fire hydrants. So slowly bring your knee up to about the length of your shoulder, so look at the left one primarily, the left video I mean. Go slowly up and down just like a dog would while it's peeing on a fire hydrant. You'll feel this in that side back pocket of your hip again. If you're having trouble feeling this, move your left knee that's moving slightly behind your ground knee and then do it from there. Sometimes you need a little bit of help activating. These are the hip circles, specifically going forward. It's kind of like a circular version of the fire hydrants. So look at the left one primarily again. You're going to go all the way back, up and around, making sure that you reach your shoulder level at minimum. Then go backwards. If you have trouble getting the height that you need, it can be helpful to put a water bottle or a cone in line with the knee that's on the ground so that you physically have to clear the hurdle. So go slowly with these, and these do burn quite a bit as well. They look incredibly easy, but once you start doing it, your hips will be on fire, and that's completely normal. After this, get squared up again in that table position. And these are called cat-cows. So when you breathe out, you're going to push your back up like a cat and drop your neck. Like let your neck just freely hang, and you'll feel a stretch in your back and spine. Let your back roll over. And then when you breathe in, you're going to want to look up and drop your belly. So watch as my hips kind of roll forward. So as your belly drops and you're looking up and you breathe in, you are actually stretching your lower abdominals, and you're opening up yourself to a more mobile body. So exhale here, inhale, exhale, drop the head, let it fall, look all the way up. These are the single leg lowers, so find something to sit down on, and you're going to use one leg, and you can put one hand on a wall for support or put one foot on the ground for support. But the idea is to progress you to a single leg squat without anything to support you. So for now, you're just going to focus on slowly, and I emphasize slowly, lowering onto the seat, making sure that your knee is above your toe, but that it doesn't go over your toe. So look at the left video. My knee is right on my toe line, but not over. Slowly go down, focus on your glute muscle, because that's the main driver here. And then using your heel, push yourself back up. That strengthens your hips a lot. And this last one is called hip thrusts. So find a bench and make sure that you have a nice 90-degree angle. Make it look like an L for your knees and your hips. Go on the edge of the stool with your shoulder blades. Drop all the way down, lift your toes, and then push through your heels all the way up until you're in that L shape again. These are very similar to the hip thrusts, but they do much more with activating your glutes. And runners tend to have very weak hips, so these exercises will help make sure that you can run safely and consistently for a long time. And this one can take some time to get used to because it's uncomfortable. But all the way up, drop down, all the way up, extend as much as you can, hold for 2 or 3 seconds, go back down, and then repeat.